Well, my job will be to look at the results in a slightly longer range view. David Butler will be seeing them as they come in, one after the other, and I'll be looking at the effect on the parties and leading personalities of what we're showing in these results. And I'll be aided by an enormous number of charts and graphs and so on, which we'll be talking to later in the evening. But let me introduce you to one or two of them now. This State of the Parties one here is going to be very important indeed. It'll show the lead and the results as they've come in so far. Now, let me begin by telling you that we're almost bound on this evening to see a Labour lead in the first part of the evening. This is because the urban areas count first and the safe Labour seats come in earlier. But let me now say that unless by the end of transmission tonight, which will be actually early in the morning, unless Labour has a lead of about 50 over Conservatives, they will not have unseated the government. That's extremely important to keep in mind. Then, too, among the other charts, there's one I want to just mention in advance, and that's this one which indicates the swing of support from one party to another. It's extremely important to notice which way it goes. If the swing, for example, is 1 point consistently and on the average to the Conservatives, they're not only in again, but they'll have an increased majority of about 35. They'll go up from 55 to something like 80 or 90. If, on the other hand, the swing is the other way, you'll know the Conservatives are getting into trouble. They'll still be in office, but if the swing goes as far as 2.5 to Labour, then almost certainly we've got a new government. And that's the importance of this constant reference to swing, which David Butler will be making. When it levels down, it may wobble at first, but when it levels down, if it does settle as far as that, somewhere between 2 and 3, almost certainly we'll have a new government. And, of course, I'll be concerned also with the fate of leading personalities. An election is a contest, in one sense, between a cabinet and a potential cabinet. And here, on one side, waiting the news as the hours tick by, are leading figures of the present Conservative government. Sitting across from them are leading members of the so-called shadow cabinet. The contest is between them as to who will enter the House of Commons and rule the country.